Hi guys, this is Raquel with Paints and Glitter, and today I'm coming to you with a tutorial on how to make the pocket that I used for my previous video where I showed you guys the tags that I used and the little pocket that I made so that I could give away some goodies. And I'm going to do it without using any dies. So I'm going to show you how to make this, and first what you would need, of course, is your tag. In the previous video I did use the larger version of these tags, which is this largest one here. For demonstration purposes, however, I am using the middle size one, and that's this one here, and it will cut out a die this size, or a piece of paper this size. So what I did first, of course, is that I measured the tag because I want to make sure that that pocket fits on the inside. So I measured the height and I measured the width, and I wanted to make sure that it fit between the stitch lines. So when I did that, I got a measurement between those stitch lines that was 3 1/16 of an inch, and again that was the width. Then I decided that I wanted it to be about 3.5 inches tall, so that way I could place my pocket at the bottom of the tag and still have some room on the top, and that's what you see here. Okay, and of course you would change the height and the width according to the size of the tag that you're going to be using. For this particular tag, which is a medium-sized one, you need 2 pieces of paper that measure 1 inch by 3 1/16 of an inch, because again that's the width of your tag. So 2 of those. Then you can use another piece of paper that's 3.5 inches tall by 12 inches wide, and I'll show you how to score this so that you can then create that pocket that's going to go on the inside. I'm just going to set these aside for a moment, and we'll start here. I'm using my Martha Stewart scoreboard, and for this what I'll do is I'm going to start scoring on this side at every 1/4 of an inch until I reach 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to do 1/4, 1/2, and 3/4 of an inch there. Now the width of my tag, again between here and here, in this case is 3 1/16 of an inch. So from that 3/4 of an inch line I want to measure 1/16 and then 3 inches going forward. So I'm just going to move this over just until my 1 inch line. Why? Simply because it'll make it easier for me to then add on 3 1/16 of an inch. So from that 1 inch line, again, that was my last score mark that I made. I'm just going to count out 1, 2, 3 inches. That leaves me with the 4 inch mark here. Then I'm just going to go over 1/16 of an inch and score there. Okay. So that makes it quite easy. From there, if you want to, you can actually leave it at that 4 inch line right at this moment, and then you can score it a 1/4 inch over, so that's 4 1/4, and then again at 4 1/2. Just remember that you did move over your paper, okay? Alright, so it starts to look like this. I'm going to show you up close. There's 1, 2, 3 score lines. They're all 1/4 inch apart. This distance from here to here is the width of my tag, and then 1/4 and then another 1/4. So that's 1/2 inch total. Now from this second score line, I'm also going to place it again on my 4 inch line here now, and I'm going to add 3 1/16 of an inch. So I'm going to go to 5, 6, 7, 1/16 of an inch. And again, that's just to make it easier for myself. Alright, so you could technically place that anywhere. Alright, so now from that line, which when I place this on the corner, that reaches my 7.5 inch line, that last score mark there. Now I'm going to go over 1/4 of an inch from there, and repeat it again, 1/4 of an inch from there. Alright, so I'm just essentially repeating what I did here, right there. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so what I did there, I'm repeating on this side. And then from there, I'm going to add 3 1/16 of an inch. So I'm going to go to 9, 10, 11 1/16 of an inch. I'm going to score it there. And then I'm going to score it a 1/4 inch from there. And then another 1/4 inch from there. Okay, so it'll essentially give me the same score lines on this side. Maybe it's a tiny bit wider on here, but it's going to repeat. It'll be a mirror image of this side. Alright, now you can take these smaller pieces and just score them in half. So because they're an inch wide, you can score them at 1/2 inch, because this will form a gusset. Okay, so you get those two pieces, set those aside for now. And what you can do is that you can fold this initial fold away from you. Okay, and the second one as well if you'd like. All right. And on the third fold, fold it as a valley fold, or in the opposite manner. Okay. All right. Now, where you have that mountain fold there in the center, it'll look like this. Okay, you're going to have this. Go ahead and snip that bottom piece at a 45-degree angle. And you're going to repeat this 2 more times, where you'll make a fold. Okay, so it'll look like that. So fold this center piece, make that a valley fold, and it'll look like that. Okay, so you have that little mountain fold in the middle, and cut away 45 degrees there. Okay, and that can be approximate. All right, so this is just paper crafting. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Now this next fold here, go ahead and fold away from you, creating that mountain fold on the other side. Okay, or I mean, you could do it the same way. Just go ahead and make it all the same. So if we have to switch it around, that's okay. And then cut away that little 45-degree angle at the bottom. Okay, so let's show here. I'll show you. Just be consistent with doing that. All right, and then you're going to do it one more time. Fold that part away from you. All right, so you're going to do that. And then you can cut away that 45-degree angle there also, like that. Okay, so it'll end up looking like this. Now, before you start adhering these pieces, which you are going to adhere one to the other, this is where this piece comes in. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to fold that in half, and you're going to adhere this to the bottom. All right, so that fold line again will face the bottom of your bag. You can place that right here on that first one, and place it right in between those score lines. If you want to, you can even cut the corners on that, if you want to go ahead and do that to remove any bulk. So you can do that. And now you're going to apply adhesive at the bottom there, and also on that outermost portion of paper, but you want to make sure that this ends up adhering to this portion here. So you actually want to fold that toward you. Okay, so if you want to use liquid adhesive, you can. I'm just going to use the ATG just for speed here. Okay, so again, this is folded up. This is going to adhere to this piece here in between these two score lines. Okay, and this little piece here is going to adhere toward the inside. So I'm actually going to do that one first, making sure that it's inside the score line. You can see that there. Okay, and then that bottom piece, you can just fold your paper and make sure that it lines up also in between those gussets. Okay, so it'll end up looking like this, but you can fold those gussets toward the inside or the outside. I don't think it'll matter, but it'll end up looking like this on the corners. Hopefully you guys could see that there. Okay, that and that, and it's kind of joined here, but you could definitely do it, you know, either way. It doesn't matter. All right, but it'll end up looking like that and like that, and you see the gusset on the side there. Okay, so now we're going to repeat the same process but on the other side. However, you're going to want to flip this. Okay, so it's essentially the back part here. There's your pocket, the first one. So we're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to take my piece of paper and fold it in half, apply it with that fold line on the bottom, like so. Making sure, in this case, it makes it a little bit easier. All right. Again, if you want to, you can take away any excess there on the corners. No big deal. Okay. But just to eliminate bulk, you can do that. And you're going to do the same thing again. This is going to fold in here. Okay. Like that. But you want to make sure that it's on the inside here. Okay. So I'm just going to cut away a tiny bit of that because I don't need that entire width. I only needed 1/4 of an inch. I'm just going to cut that away a little bit there, okay? And let's just call that 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to apply adhesive there, all right? So now when I fold it over, I can make sure that that lines up with that edge, like so. Just like that, top to bottom. And remember that bottom part, it can adhere on the inside here. Okay. So go on the inside and adhere to that piece there. Okay. So now that I've got adhesive there, I can go ahead and fold this and apply some pressure. So just apply some pressure there until that's nice and dry. And you're going to be left with a gusset on that stretches out like this on both sides. You see that? Okay. So now the great thing is that you're going to be able to use this as your pocket on your tag, and then you can apply adhesive to the outside of this, of course. So let's go ahead and do that. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that you line this up, like I said before, with the bottom of that tag, so that way it's not, you don't get this piece of paper hanging over the bottom. Okay, so what I did was that I just placed my tag on my surface here, and with that adhesive side down, I made sure that it went all the way to the bottom there. And of course, if you use a piece of paper that matches your tag, then it won't show through the bottom, or it won't show too much. You just apply a little pressure there, so you see that? So you can barely see it. Now there is a bit of, this die does cut out some decorative edges there, but because of the way that I ran it so quickly, it didn't, all the little pieces did not come out, but I'm not concerned about that. I'm just gonna now apply adhesive on this side, and I'll do it the same way. Just making sure that I get the edges there, and I'll line up my paper, or my tag. I'm going to line it up from the top to make sure that it doesn't get all wonky. Just line it up on the top, and you can apply some pressure there to make sure that that folds, because again you have those gussets. Okay, make sure it's lined up on the sides, and then you're going to apply your pressure to make sure that adhesive makes contact, and you are all set. You have a pocket here now that you can, you know, of course you want to let it dry, but then if you want to fill it up with goodies, you now have space. You have plenty of space to do that. And if you want to, you can adhere this so that the bottom piece, instead of folding with the edge toward the bottom, you can do it the other way where the edge is folding toward the inside of the bag, and that'll give you a bit more width at the bottom. But if you're happy with that, of course this will work. And then, as I did in my previous video, you can add a ribbon here and embellish it and everything. In that other video, I did make this double-sided, so there were 2 tags on each side, just to make it a lot sturdier. I like my projects to be sturdy, so this was just for demonstration purposes, and that's why I only did 1. But yeah, I would recommend it to be, if you are going to give it away, to use 2 of each. Okay, so I hope that this video has been helpful to you, that maybe you've learned a little something. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My name is Raquel, and this is Paints and Glitter. I hope that you can be inspired and be blessed. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.